How about we do a segment of Ask a White Person?
No, look, you can call it whatever you want, but please have this conversation with me as a white black man, because this is a serious topic, and I didn't realize it was such a social thing. But there are literally people out there having real conversations about how you wash your ass and how you shower in a white versus black mentality.
Well, give me a second. I'm gonna do some of this. Go ahead.
So the question comes up, or the conversation is, white people don't use washcloths. As a white and black man, that's a real conversation, because if you're not using washcloths, what are you using? I'll tell you, been there, done that, done it all. Loofahs, sponges. So, the talk is how you wash, using a washcloth or not. And white people don't use washcloths. Stereotypically speaking, I believe it's safe to say it's a fact. White people don't use washcloths. They also talk about whether or not rich people use washcloths, because it can be a poor versus rich thing.
Hold on.
So there's also, but we're just gonna go white and black.
All right. First of all, I'm gonna say there's a larger argument to be had here. I want to say about things that are stereotypically black being, moreover, stereotypically Southern.
Okay, so fine, but nonetheless, washcloths.
So, generationally, like my great Aunt Mary would use a washcloth.
Yeah, they didn't have loofahs back then.
Oh, say it. But
They didn't have Bath and Body Works.
in that weird transition time between the loofah and the washcloth, there was a period of time where we had bars of soap and we just lather up your hand and just rub it on yourself.
Absolutely.
That was it.
Well, no,
And
that
yeah,
fails.
and you're right.
Direct application.
You would have to sit there and pick out somebody else's fucking hair from the thing. It was gross.
That's disgusting.
It's
first
gross.
off.
Yeah, no, it was gross. That's why I always make sure to rinse the thing when I was done.
No,
with
there's
it.
no excuse for it. That's why we got to the loofahs and the washcloths.
It was a very short period of time. It was like that short period of time, like between typewriters and computers, when you had the electric word processor and no one fucking gave a shit. Like, it was like that. It was just a dark period in time that we don't like to think about anymore. But eventually, the first fucking Karen went to a Bed Bath & Beyond, grabbed this little fluffy thing, goes, ooh, this is nice, and then body wash became all the rage. Like, you can't find a thing of fucking Irish Spring to save your life unless you're a Dollar Tree.
Little known fact: when we go to Ghana, guess what the number one thing is? It's a loofah that's not folded up. It is just a long stretch of cloth of the fabric that the same.
That's easier to do the floss with.
Okay, you know what? I don't think they're out there hitting the floss. That's not. You just ball it up and you make your own hand loofah. Was the point?
Well, then what the hell's the point of that? Like,
yeah,
just
no,
get you a little bit of string and wrap it up together. Then, if you're gonna do that shit,
they
got string.
That's how the loofah came to be. For real.
No, the loofah's a plant.
Do you guys want salad with your chicken and corn?
I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what you mean. The loofah is the plant.
A loofah's a plant.
I'm talking about the little sponge thing.
Yeah, it's a plant.
The little plastic material.
Oh no, I thought those
What
loofahs.
type of organic loofah are you using?
No, you can actually grow loofah, like the loofah material, like those like sponge. Yeah, they're like, it's a plant. You grow it. It's like the inner side of the plant.
But you don't use it as a cleaning sponge.
Yeah.
Hold on. So you're telling me there's like naturally real...
Yeah, there's natural loofahs you can like grow outside in your house if you want.
One day when I grow up, I'll use that. But nonetheless, back to the washcloth.
But yeah, you're right. There are the little plastic crap ones. You're right. Yeah, that's what we use. We don't. I mean, there was a dark period where we were rubbing bars of soaps on ourselves.
There's
like
a very
bunch
light
of fucking
period where you got the organic Bali fresh grown loofahs. But washcloths. Washcloths?
That's what.
Oh, okay. I've seen them.
Yeah, that's just a plant that grows. They just peel it out and dry it out. That's.
Yeah, I didn't.
It's kind of like sponges are natural.
I haven't used it, but I'm not gonna lie. I thought those were the exfoliating bricks type things.
Oh, that's because they're much rougher because they're than a regular loofah. But yeah.
I'm only African. I ain't got the full African skin for this shit, bro. As someone that used loofahs most of their life, it was raised by a white woman.
I say, shouldn't you know about not using washcloths?
Absolutely, and let me tell you, there was a monumental point where I switched to washcloths because it makes more sense, it's way more sanitary, and it's the best way to go about it. There is a systematic approach to this.
Even more so than the loofah?
Yes.
I guess because you wash them every occasionally.
Absolutely. You have multiple use. You have multiple washcloths. You use it once. You get a fresh one every single time. And hey, I propose.
Yeah, I have to use a washcloth.
Uncomfortable people don't talk about. It's like, tell me, you washing your face and your ass with the same loofah? You ain't got an answer. But that's a thing people gotta think about. Because if you don't go in a systematic approach.
So, here's what I got going on, right? Mac has these like washcloth gloves.
Those are awesome. Those are the shit.
So that's what we use. And here's how the order goes, right? I use this charcoal that will scrub the fucking like rust off rust off a bumper.
Yeah.
That goes on first, and I scrub my face.
Yep.
Then everything gets washed and clean. Then I clean the rest of myself. Then the gloves get cleaned and rinsed off real good. Then they get put back again. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you gotta do. That's how it works. But some people don't understand like a top-down method. Some people's order of operations are all messed up. And
those gloves do get washed about once a month.
There you go. I would recommend more than once a month.
Well, I'm just guessing about, but we each have our own pair. It's not like we're both using the same pair.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's my own body funk on there every time.
I'm OCB with things. So
well, I know that
on my loofah days, even on my loofah days, I had separate loofahs for separate regions.
I will say that I think black folk are more...
You'll get roasted if you ain't got proper hygiene.
That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all are more aware of your hygiene. Like, I'm never gonna meet like a crusty black dude. We have in white culture, we have like that sexy fucking hippie guy that doesn't bathe and smells like sex all the time, but girls kind of like it for some reason.
I'm telling you know what I mean? Real. It's real.
Like
True story.
But I like again, man, like the way you keep the clothes, the way you worry about your toiletries, like that seems to be. Again, we're talking in stereotypes here because everyone's their own individual. Yep. But from the black folk I've met in my life and what I've been taught from comedy, I mean, y'all are much more aware of hygiene. You're much more up on hygiene. You care way more about it. And you've got a lot more products for it.
We haven't got to the luxury of not being able to care about it. We got to show up. Could you imagine if a fluent black person was known for being crusty or
not since Bob Marley, but yeah,
or have a personal opinion. Like, imagine if you took Adam Sandler's mentality about clothes and dress and you applied that to another character that happened to have more pigment in their skin. The perception of their fan base would be different. Stereotypically, we got to still show up, show out. There's still that level of...
Well, there is
more on the artistic side. They
I would say
let's face it.
Well, yeah, I would say there is a black cultural equivalent of dressing in a way that is off-putting or would be off-putting in a business sense, but it's still a flashier way of doing things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like the
urban wearing street.
Well, yeah, take your like successful like rapper who still keeps that urban flavor or whatever. Now he can afford to do whatever the hell he wants to, right? He can afford to dress however he wants to.
Russell Simmons is the pinnacle of that.
So our what's the white dude with the face tattoos that's real funny? What's his name?
He's a rapper?
Yeah. Post Malone.
Clutch.
Thank you.
We're recording a classic conversation on the difference in washing with washcloths and loofahs as a white and black conversation. If you've never heard that, there's a real conversation out there on like using washcloths to shower and bathe with versus like using loofahs or sponges or whatever.
Okay, so like how is it broken up?
Stereotypically, no white people wash with washcloths. And it's a very black thing. It's also a very southern, it's also a very
I think it's an old southern thing.
Old tradition. It's an old school thing.
Yeah. And black people stereotypically they still run to that to this day versus running out and grabbing your arm. I grew up with loofahs. We always was loofahs. But I was telling Cody like that was definitely my white mom, and then there was a side where I switched and started doing washcloths. But then you go to Ghana, they use what they call a sponge. It's basically a loofah unfolded. It's just a long strip of that plastic you could take like stuff, and they'll be on the streets. Everybody uses that sponge, and it's just
Is it the plastic kind, or is it like loofah Like it's the.
I already asked him this. No,
See,
it's the
I just
plastic
learned.
kind.
I just learned that loofah was the other loofah.
Yeah, he just learned about the organic
Okay,
one.
yeah, because like
Seen it.
No,
the
like
fancy
because
one.
all of ours, because we've seen a regular loofah unravel. It's just the same thing. It's just not bound up with string in the middle
Yeah.
of it.
Okay.
They haven't
It's just-
started folding it up.
It's just unraveled. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or-
that
This is just wrap a piece of string around it or a piece of rope. That way you can hang it up in the shower. That's all it is. You just wrap a little string around
What
the
you
middle.
really have to do though,
would be
you
this
have
long.
to
Let me tell you.
introduce to Ghana the scrubby gloves.
But he was saying I use them. I love
Scrubby?
them. They're awesome,
Gloves, man.
and they're rough enough to have some texture and get
Yeah.
that. They're nice.
You get a nice like sheen on your skin afterwards. Like you
And-
get all the dead skin off.
Now I tell you what, you
have to lose
get black
weight,
folk have
that's
taught me is lotion.
Mhm.
Look,
Yeah.
man, it's a thing. We grew up carrying it in your backpack. Like you can't get caught ashy. But at the same time, like low key, like growing up, you know,
Well, I tell you what got me is
don't go
A,
public and get caught ashy.
back's got me all tattooed up, so I got to keep these legs looking nice. A and B, since they started using that charcoal scrub, like I was saying, that can get just anything off your face.
Yeah.
If you do that, you get all your oils off your face. You'll get dried up and break out a little bit. So that immediately after I
Moisture's
wash and
important.
clean,
You gotta moisturize.
Yeah.
get that coconut oil lotion.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
That
No,
coconut
shit
oil is great, man.
good. Yeah, no, like I learned that at work. Like at one point, like when I was early in my career, I'm like, I can't get stencils. And one of the
You gotta
guys
speak
goes,
louder, baby. We're recording.
lotion.
Oh, saying that she
Yeah.
can't get the stencils.
Well, it's
to
a whole
stick
story
on.
of
Because you have to scrub it off, and then you have to wipe with alcohol.
If y'all could hear that, my wife's a tattoo artist, and she was saying that early in her career she would have difficulty getting the stencils to stay on black folk because of the amounts of lotion.
Yes. So basically you have to like
Alcohol,
completely
swab it off, yeah.
Yes, totally. Like do
What
the
is this?
skin, alcohol, and then the green soap, and then you can put the stencil on because the stencil will not freaking stick on people. Anybody who uses a lot of lotion, and people who spray tan also. Like
Hear that, Ireland? Spray tans keep you from that shamrock tattoo you want to go on your 18th birthday.
not seriously, you gotta like. There have been so many times I'm like trying to scrub up like somebody for a tattoo, and it's coming off, and it's like a white lady, and I'm like, oh, you spray tan. Okay, all right. So I gotta hit you with the alcohol after this, and then hit you with the green soap again. Okay, that's fair.
That's one of those things I forget, and I didn't realize it's as big as it is. But that's a whole.
Well, yeah, I think culturally, if we get past the whole everyone screams about cultural appropriation, but no, I think there's some things from each other's cultures we need to take.
Yeah. I highly recommend taking the washcloths method. I personally went from loofahs to washcloths, and it's a very nice system, and I recommend just buying you about a dozen, at least half a dozen.
I'm gonna go scrubby gloves all the way.
Scrubby gloves are the shit.
Yeah.
And you can get every crease and crevice. And as a big man, that's another thing. There's a difference in washing being small people and big people. Big people, we got to know. I was over 300.
Tell you what.
Don't get caught stanky and musty as a big man.
Tell you what.
Hit them crevices. Work hard.
I'll trade you.
Real talk. You gotta.
I'll trade you. We'll take lotion from y'all, and y'all take being quiet in a movie theater from us.
We refuse. Excuse me. We had the racial draft in the past. No, we reject that offer. We will be as obnoxious in these movies. I'm sorry, but we're here too.
Dude, we went and saw fucking Shakespeare in the Park this Sunday, a Shakespeare play, and there was a group sitting next to us with a lot of black folk in the group, and sure enough, they were talking near the play to the point where an old white lady turned around and yelled at them.
Hey, I just want to take a moment and be glad that we made it to the Shakespeare places. When he started off that story, I was like, please tell us there's going to be some black people here.
They were.
It was great.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They were like straight from Africa though. Like they were like
Well, I didn't hear him talk. The lady was wearing a Muslim garb,
yeah, like
I didn't
maybe
have to get the
Sudanese
Muslim.
or something.
but I don't. But
Bro,
well,
when they start praying in the morning at 3 o'clock on the loudspeakers, the whole neighborhood.
Well, the thing about it was, like,
It's
I do feel a little bad for them. They weren't, like, the kids were a little bored, but every kid out there was bored because it's Shakespeare. They don't give a crap. But I felt bad because what I think was going on was the talking that was going on was just a little too loud, but it was this older white guy in the group was explaining to the black lady. I think he was trying to explain the play to her.